Chicago's a town best known for its many famous and infamous characteristics, from being completely destroyed by fire, one of the worst in U.S. history in the late 19th century, to hosting its first World's Fair just 2 decades later. In the face of adversity, Chicago's a town that always manages to reinvent itself, and does so without ever losing sight of its storied past. No matter where you look, pieces of Chicago history are abound, and there's no better place to start than the Chicago Architecture Foundation.
Here, of course, you'll find all the information you could ever want about Chicago's world-class architecture and some of its most celebrated architects, like Mies van der Rohe, Frank Lloyd Wright, Louis Sullivan, and, of course, the great Daniel Burnham, who is probably best known for his work on the World's Columbian Exposition of 1893. And thanks to the Chicago Architecture Foundation, you'll be able to see for yourself what fairgoers experienced over 120 years ago via a slideshow of rare historic images. But there's also a dark side to this tour, which is appropriately called The Devil in the White City, inspired by Erik Larson's best-selling book. Simultaneous to the events surrounding the exposition, a much darker story developed, the emergence of America's first mass murderer. This portion of the presentation takes us behind the scenes of Herman Webster Mudgett, or a.k.a. H.H. Holmes, and his Castle of Horrors. Once you've been briefed on the specifics of how it all went down, it's time to get on the bus and explore some of these sites firsthand. Once you're done with the tour, you might want to think about walking a few blocks over to the Italian Village for a nice sit-down lunch and continuing education on the day's history lessons. Opening its doors in 1927, Italian Village has the title of being Chicago's oldest Italian restaurant. When you walk in, you'll actually find 3 restaurants nestled under one roof. There's the Village, which is reminiscent of a small Italian town. Celebrities like Frank Sinatra were known for frequenting the place when they were in town, and hey, if old Blue Eyes liked it, why wouldn't you? La Cantina, downstairs, is patterned after a wine cellar, with a narrow aisle and tucked-away booths, and then there's Vivere, which boasts a contemporary Italian menu and a very modern setting. No matter what flavor you pick, you simply can't go wrong here. Now that you've satisfied your appetite, it's time to feed the brain. And if you're like us, you're still craving more information on Chicago's great past, and the Chicago History Museum should be just the fix. Founded in 1856, the newly renovated History Museum houses a collection of over 22 million artifacts. Among them is the Elcar No. 1, which transported many masses down to the fairgrounds during the Columbian Exposition, and also more information on Chicago's Second World's Fair, held in 1933. There's a magnificent exhibit featuring the Great Chicago Fire of 1871, and don't forget about Chicago's music legacy. The My Kind of Town exhibit, which looks like an actual jazz club, is sure to take you back in time. And, thanks to Christy Hefner, you'll find great images and costumes from the first Playboy Club. But there's more to come in this expansive museum, which also boasts a children's gallery called Sensing Chicago. Here, kids can explore Chicago's history by using their 5 senses. From catching a fly ball at the old Comiskey Park, to riding a penny farthing down a cobblestone street. Of course, there's many more things to see, but we don't want to spoil the surprise. Still can't get enough? The Chicago Chop House looks like a museum in a restaurant. Or is it a restaurant within a museum? Well, you know what we mean. Head over to the Chop House for some dinner and get cozy with some of Chicago's most colorful characters. The Chop House boasts an impressive collection of historical photographs, including the only complete portrait set of all of Chicago's mayors. Don't forget to check out the Wall of Gangsters on the other side of the room. Finish up the night in style at the Pump Room, housed in the Omni Ambassador East. A walk through the Pump Room is like a walk through the Hollywood Hall of Fame. Since its inception in 1938, folks have come to observe the celebrities who make their appearances in Booth 1, which is perhaps the most renowned table in the country. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall celebrated their wedding in Booth 1, as did Robert Wagner and Natalie Wood. And, of course, Frank Sinatra has held court there countless times. For additional information on all the places mentioned here, and to find out more about Chicago's amazing history, log on to conciergepreferred.com/history.